Yo, what's going on, everyone? I'm prepared. I'm not late. You're late. I am joined by the great Gabby. We're going to talk about all things PS5, whether the generation's been a failure or just a late bloomer. All that and more in the next Power Hour podcast, episode 132 of the
Streamcast.
Hey, what's going on? Back by unpopular demand, it's Gabby.
Thank you so much. I'm glad everyone wants me back. I'm very popular here, yeah.
No, legit, I think you're one of the best performing episodes of this year.
Of course.
So, the stats demand you back. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Obviously, how we know each other. I've severed that connection, and I'm happy as a result. Yeah, I'm good. I can't wait to talk about the PS5 with you because I don't actually remember how this came to be, but last year over Christmas when a lot of people were working from home, we were in the office. And we just started playing games, and then I discovered how intense a gamer you are, and I was like, "Yep, we're friends for life now. Let's do it."
I'm a secret gamer. I may not look it from the vibes I give off, but I go home and I game nearly every single night, and not many people at work actually know that.
That's because they are selfish sycophants who don't care about anything other than themselves. And I did say this at the time in the office.
Yeah. That's fair.
So, yeah. But I mean, I think part of what Streamcast is breaking those stereotypes anyway. So, like, looking like a gamer, let's scrap that. Throw that statement in the bin. Gamers are more than just neckbeards who are sweaty and can't talk to people and stay in their mother's basement and they can't run or they can't lift. No, we're sharing all of that. We're healthy people with tons of hobbies.
I can lift.
Exactly.
I've not got a neck beard. Have just come from yoga.
Yeah. Exactly. Don't smell. You have good hygiene.
No. Look. Yeah. Well, I hope
so. Trust me, we wouldn't be friends if you had bad hygiene. But enough about you, Gabby, and enough about me. It's all about the PS5. So, off the top of your head, what is your first PS5 associated memory?
So, I mean, if anyone listened to the last pod that I was on when we talked about the PS2, they would have heard the fact that I talk about the fact my brothers are integral to my gaming life, especially my older brother. So I didn't have a PS5 until, I want to say about three years ago, maybe. But having an older brother who is obsessed with games, will buy the newest consoles as soon as they come out, meant that I was lucky enough to be able to play the PS5. I think he got it on the first release. So when they only released a couple and everyone didn't get any, he got one. And I remember purposely going home at Christmas and just saying to my brother, I'm just going to camp in your room for the 6 days over Christmas that I have off work and just play a game. The first game I ever played, I don't know if it counts as a game, is the built-in game on the PS5, Astro's Playroom.
Of course it counts. Absolutely.
Well, it's a game, but it's not like it is kind of a fully fledged game, but you know what I mean. And funnily enough, I actually checked my stats, and that is my most completed game of the PS5.
There's no shame in that, because that is a story you had to fork over $500,000 for this console.
Exactly.
Here you go.
Exactly. So I do have a platinum on Astro's Playroom.
Sick.
But in terms of actual games, for lack of a better word, my first ever memory of the PS5, I was very fortunate to be able to play The Last of Us 2 with absolutely no spoilers at all on the PS5. I think he had a 65-inch TV or something stupid. And I was this close and engrossed the entire time. And it was one of the best Christmases I've ever had. Because I just sat there and went through the game in its entirety, had no idea what was happening, had the surround sound on, had the haptic feedback on. The screen was lit up in my face. My brother was behind me because he has his desk with his computer, sat watching, making some comments. I know the game is old, but I'm not going to say the spoiler just in case.
Spoiler alert! Let's go.
When that scene happens, I just remember him pausing his game and going really quiet to see my reaction, and I just went, "What? What?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Did you not know?" I was like, "No, I had no idea."
That is.
Yeah, that's my first memory of the PS5.
I love that he just stopped doing whatever he was doing and locked in. It was
I think he was on Final Fantasy 13 online or whatever Final Fantasy was out then, and was like, "Nah, guys, sorry, I've got to watch my sister get to this scene."
It's the scene.
It is. Yeah, great game.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, bona fide 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
In fact, would maybe say my favorite PS5 game.
Ooh.
I know.
Okay. No, that's a
Strong statement.
A big shout. Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah.
I think so. My first PS5 memory is I remember getting it on day one.
Mm-hmm.
I got it for my ex for her birthday, and I was very much like, I'm going to use this. I happy birthday, but I'm using this.
Happy birthday! Here's 2 controllers, one for me.
Yeah. Oh my god, I got you an extra one in case you forget your.
Yeah.
And I think Miles Morales was out on like part of the launch lineup, so I remember booting that up and going through that in a couple of the streams, and really appreciating.
That's a good point. In my head, Miles Morales was a PS4 game. It wasn't, was it?
I think it was released on both consoles.
But it was like a PS5 release.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting confused. Yeah. I think Miles Morales might have been my first game. Wait, which one came first?
What, Miles Morales or
Last of Us 2? Last of Us 2, right?
Last of Us 2 was first, yeah.
Yeah,
that was
okay.
2020.
No. Ignore me. Back to your story.
I really like Miles Morales. I think it built on everything that made Spider-Man great in the PS4 release, and then added some really cool things like the Venom powers. Obviously, it was a shorter game, so it did kind of feel like a 1.5 as opposed to a 2. But I remember sitting through the credits, and the credits lasting as long as the playthrough did, and just realizing, okay, like we are on a different level, and I don't know how much further technology and the graphics can go, because everything looks so sleek. It looks even more fine and detailed than real life. It looks better than my own eyeballs. So
do you reckon that's why a lot of modern games don't let you skip the credits? Because they're like, all these people spent so much time on this game, you're gonna sit and look at every single name. And I mean, as we should, because games take years to make. But you used to be able to skip credits because they were 30 seconds, not 30 seconds, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, a couple of
minutes.
Now
you have to detail every single person that had a part in your 70-hour plus game. And there's a hell of a lot of people. Everyone needs credit.
I think that is the case. And I don't mind it personally. I like being able to acknowledge who has created the game that I've played and enjoyed. I think I've got to thank the MCU for that, because when the credits started rolling in the cinema, I was off. I'm like, I ain't reading shit. I'm gone. But because of the MCU and because they've started doing like the post-credit scenes, you sit through it, right? And yeah, I kind of just took that to gaming. So I will always sit through the credits of a game unless the game was shit. But Miles Morales was really good. It was a really good experience, and I really appreciate it now because I'm at a stage where like I want those shorter games. I want a nice 5-10 hour campaign, not necessarily a 100 200 hour campaign. So yeah, I do appreciate that. I think that was my first experience. That or Rift Apart, I can't remember, but one of those two games.
So what would you say your favorite is then?
Oh, that is. Oh shit! Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I almost instinctively answered, but I actually think it's Liza P. The Liza P is a 10 out of 10 game. It is a Souls-like. It is based on Pinocchio, but it is very much in the Bloodborne goth aesthetic, and I really appreciate that. It looks like Bloodborne, but it plays like Sekiro, and there's a ton of like Dark Souls and Demon Souls love in that game. So that is that is the best PS5 game I've played. That's my favorite. I was going to say God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I was going to say, you seem apprehensive. There's something else there.
Yeah. I was going to say Ragnarok, but then there were some things of that game that prevented it for it being a 10 out of 10 for me. Like there were a few bugs in that game, whereas the 2018 I didn't experience any bugs. I didn't experience any glitching or any issues with my game. And the story did feel like they tried to condense 2 games into one. So some aspects were rushed. They introduced some characters and they didn't really flesh them out. So when certain pivotal moments happened, I didn't really care because you hadn't earned that love for me with that character.
Yeah.
But it's a very good game. Mechanically, it's better than 2018. And I think it's my only PS5 Platinum to date.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I don't have the time or the care for.
I only have one, and it is Astro's Playroom.
Nice, we're level.
I've only got the one on the PS5.
So with the PS5 being 5 years old, that is a massive thing to mark. It's kind of crazy how it's gone through half a decade already.
Yeah.
How do you feel those 5 years have gone so far? Because I do feel like the first 2 years that PS5 was hobbling. It might as well have been on a walker. Like there were very slow developments, and obviously there's a whole pandemic to thank for that. Lockdown. People didn't even get the console at first because there was just lack of there was a shortage of units. So what is your, I guess, overall view of the 5 years that we've had of it?
I mean, it's like we said in the previous one, the gaming landscape has changed considerably from when we were younger. The way people play games, the way people play with other people, the sort of games that people want to play has just meant that the PS5 kind of sits in its own era, essentially. And like I said, the pandemic didn't help because 2 to 3 years meant that people either didn't have a console or some people got it. There weren't larger games coming out because there were studios that had to close or lay people off, or all of these unfortunate things. So it's really only been in the last 2 to 3 years, in fact, since I've had a PS5, that we've started to see it climb a bit. And I think it's difficult because a lot of PS5 games that are coming out are heavy duty, like we said, 70 to 100 hour games. They take a long time to make. They're a long commitment to play, and they're amazing games, don't get me wrong. But it does mean that people are probably spending less on games because you have less time to play. Games cost more because they just are naturally more intense. And it's, I mean, I'm speaking obviously of our generation. Obviously, there are younger people that have PS5 consoles. This might be their first console. This might only be their second console. But speaking for sort of our generation, I don't have the time as much to play the PlayStation. And I think a lot of fans of PlayStation obviously have grown up with all the consoles, and they're of a similar era, if not older, slightly younger. And they're the same, like we don't have full gaming hours within the day to play. So I think the PS5 is reaching a good level, but it's not going to be at a similar level to the PS2, for example, simply because of the way that people are gaming now. It's still very popular. People still want to play consoles. People are still waiting for state of plays and new releases and all of this. But I don't think it's the same attitude to how gaming used to be. But that might just be that's my position because that's what I see, because that is, you know, my everyday, as opposed to someone who doesn't have as many commitments and they think the PS5 is the best thing to ever happen.
Yeah, that is very fair. No, I wanted to just let you have your platform to get all of that out, because I generally agree. I think the PS5 had a rough start, but I also feel like all of the consoles on that generation had there's only two,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean, like the PlayStation and Xbox.
Well, even the Switch
think-
to an extent, because that had
True.
troubles during COVID.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. I think they didn't have the best start, especially because there were. I feel like people just weren't ready for it, because obviously there were bigger things going on in life. I remember all of the discourse about the PS5 is how it looked like Seto Kaiba in Battle City. Like, it just looked crap. People couldn't get their hands on it.
And it was massive. Everyone kept saying it was massive.
Yeah. People cancelled their pre-orders because the PlayStation was not racist or something like that. There was a lot of issues. Yeah, there were a lot of issues in 2020, and I'm so glad we are far removed from that. But I do think there were consequences of that, because obviously there were in fewer homes. I feel like a lot of studios couldn't really get the games out on the PS5 as quickly as they'd like. So we still had this weird in-between period of games were all on the PS4 as well as being on the PS5.
Yeah.
And if I can play them on the PS4, I'm gonna play them on the PS4. Like, I'm gonna save some money.
Why would I spend 500 quid for a new console for the same game?
Exactly. So I do feel that hurt it. I would say 2022 is the first year where it felt like, okay, this is the PS5 era. This is the time. And I feel like there was still a lot of games that came out on both generations at that point where they probably could have called it then and made the decision of, if you want this game, get the new one, get the PS5. But I think the quality of games drastically improved with the likes of Horizon Forbidden West. We've got the War Ragnarok, obviously Elden Ring. I feel like with that rush of games, I feel like we started to see the opinion of the PS5 change from it's just a cash grab from Sony to, oh, it's the new thing. I need this. I need these games. And I do feel like there are more games than people give it credit for. Like Shifu is a really good game on the PS5. Like I've mentioned earlier, Lies of P is a fantastic game. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, solid game.
Yeah.
And there are tons of games that tick multiple genre boxes, and you can have a game for the whole family. You can have a game for, if you just want to play a shooter with your friends, if you want to get in on the fighting game action and find out which one of your friends is the best at Tekken or Street Fighter. Like there are plenty of games on the PS5. I feel like they have reversed the initial negative reaction to the PS5, similar to the PS3. I feel like the PS3 had many years, and they don't have a pandemic to blame. They outpriced their market, which I think retroactively was probably more of a fair price than we realized. But no one was forking £400+ on a machine. So they had a lot of years to like fight back, and they eventually, made it to a positive overall opinion. But I think the PS5 had a less aggressive version of that uphill battle.
I think I completely agree. And I think sort of on what you said, the PS5 has so many games that aren't necessarily your top tier games. They're still popular games, but they're not your top tier games. Like Stray, for example, which is very popular, but it's a game that most people probably wouldn't choose to play unless they had some sort of I don't know what the word is, pre-warning about it and sort of what the game is, because it's a game where you play a cat. And some people might be like, well, I don't want to play that. Why would I play a cat? But it's such an emotional roller coaster. I think it's only about 20 hours or so long. It's not a huge game at all. But yeah, games get the PS5 has so many games now, and I think it's kind of become almost second nature for, you know what, I actually don't know how to phrase this. So compared to no, I had a thought, and I'm like, how do I say this? Like the PS2, for example, or the PS3 even had a fair amount of games, but a lot of them were your AAA, AAA, AA, whatever you want to call them, and we knew of them. And then there'd be a couple smaller indie games. I feel like the market has moved massively more recently into a lot more indie games. And so there's a lot of games being released that aren't necessarily going to be on page 1 of the PlayStation Store app. Or they're going to be like recommendations from a friend. Like Life of P, I never heard of until you told me about it. I've not actually played it yet. But from like some gameplay videos, it looks like such a sick game. But that's one that wouldn't necessarily be known by people because it's a smaller indie game, smaller studio. And I think the PS5 within the last 3 years has started to benefit from that. I think people's attitude was like, well, this massive game is being released on PS4 and PS5. So why would I buy a PS5? And then it started to turn into like, oh, these bigger games would be good to play on PS5. So maybe I get a PS5. But then in addition to that, I've got a massive catalogue of all these smaller games, all these studios that now have the ability to create a game that essentially is completely out of the realm of what they might have thought before, because there's controller feedback that they can adjust to, there's the graphics that they can fit into, all of these things that have come with the new console that they might have not wanted to do on the PS4 or the PS3, for example, that they're leaning into. So now we're getting better games, for lack of a better word. I mean, it makes sense because it's a newer console, but do you see what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. And I really like that point of indie games doing a lot of the heavy lifting, especially over the last couple of years. I think the market has really, not the market, well, it sounds so corporate, but I feel like gamers, I feel like gamers have really turned around and they've realized that a lot of the big 100-hour campaigns or like the big AAA blockbuster titles are just empty, colorful games that don't really offer a lot. And they are trying to find games that are meaningful or games that stand out or are unique, aren't cookie cutter. And you do find these amazing games like Lies of P, for example, or Expedition 33. And you are finding these games that are different. And I just think that with the power of the PS5 as well, we are seeing indie games that, unless I was told explicitly this is an indie, I wouldn't have assumed that because they're just so big and functionally almost perfect. Yeah, it's a real, almost a Renaissance era, because back in like, you know, the PS2 or the retro era, there were a lot of indies there too. And because the limits were a lot lower, like they wouldn't stand out as much, but the standard is so high, and the fact that the indie games have risen to meet that standard, I think, is something that has really worked in the PS5's favor.
Yeah, I think it's also the fact that the gaming industry as a whole is doubled, tripled, quadrupled in the amount of investment that it's getting. So the indie games that were being made previously, they were from small studios that were trying their best. They were trying to get into a market that was popular, but it wasn't like one of the biggest industries in the world. Whereas now gaming is absolutely insanely huge. And so a small indie game trying to get into the market just needs to be seen by the right people, and that could immediately ride the wave. They can take it anywhere and they can start developing games even more from then, but they still stay as that little small studio producing these unique games.
100%. I actually think, ironically, the pandemic led to a lot of this because people weren't going outside. They were stuck. There wasn't much to do. You finish working from home, doing those extra hours, and then what else is there to do? Like, you either watch the new Netflix thing or play a video game. And I think video games in general, that industry really saw a boom that was unprecedented during the lockdown period, when people were holding graduations and funerals and Animal Crossing, and we were holding stuff like, people started live streaming. There was a whole new beam there as well. We started doing live quizzes online, and like all of these different ways of continuing to reach people happened, and video games was one of those essential cornerstone experiences that really boomed. And like you said, it quadrupled, quintupled. Like, video games went crazy to the point where a lot of these companies were trying to get a piece of that pie, and it's very funny how a lot of like a lot of these bigger companies with their very obvious and superficial attempts to try and work their way into the games industry, but it was an acknowledgement, it was respect, it was whatever the opposite of stigmatization is. Destigmatization of video games happened because people were literally locked indoors and had nothing else to do. So whilst I think two things can be right, whilst the pandemic hurt the PS5 initially for the first couple of years, I also think the pandemic helped give a bigger platform to not just PlayStation 5, but also the Xbox Series X and S and the Switch 2 and PC in general. I think it just built a bigger platform for gaming in general.
Yeah, and two points. The first one, I don't know if you've seen it, but I assume you have, the common joke of AAA games having that scene or many scenes where the character has to go through the crack and you just inch forward and there's no other movement you can do. You have to go through a crack and then you're in a new world and then you continue the game. Every single AAA game that, maybe not every single one, most AAA games that have come out in the last 5 to 10 years, let's say, maybe a little bit less than that, has the crawl through the crack scene. And it's like an indicator that a company, you're trying, but could we not have a different mechanic? Like the rest of your game you've worked so hard on, but then you bring us back to this again. Everyone does it. I want it to go. We don't need that mechanic anymore. No one needs to be crawling through gaps. Yeah. Get rid of it.
I'm so done with that.
Second point was actually on, you said about streaming, and I think that ties in quite well, because although you could still stream consoles previously, this is not a modern thing. I think the fact that technology has advanced, obviously since COVID, there are more streamers naturally. People were on their computers, they were gaming. The natural thing is then talk to people over a screen in some variety. So there's more attention to streaming in one way or another. And although you could stream consoles before, I think a lot of streaming focus was on PC, because it was just naturally easier to be on a PC and stream your game on the PC. But I think because consoles are now more integrated with the rest of technology, it's a lot easier to plug in your PS5 and then also stream your PS5. So people are being exposed to PS5 games more than they may have necessarily, like the PS3, for example, just because maybe their favorite streamer that used to play PC games all the time is now playing a PS5 exclusive, and they're like, oh, that looks like a really cool game. Maybe I'll think about getting the PS5, or maybe I'll give it a try, something like that.
Of course. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. First of all, the PS3, I think, was the last PlayStation home console where they were not on board with like content creation or streaming, because I remember my boy Isaac and we streamed on the PS3 and we had to get a converter to bypass the streaming lock that the PS3 has inbuilt. So they were not playing with that at all. But it's good to see that they have realized and understood, hold on, why shouldn't we get our games and consoles to reach as many people as possible?
Yeah.
So yeah, with the PS4 and the PS5.
It's as simple as the PS5 controller having a camera button or a screenshot button. It's integrated within gaming now, and companies have accepted that, and therefore they're creating games or consoles that fit into this new audience of gamers.
Yeah, 100%. I think they've also understood that gaming doesn't only have to be consumed firsthand. I think that they've realized that gaming has a massive market in the fact that people watch Let's Plays, people watch streams, and they don't ever have to play the game. Like, I love to watch creators who play games that I will never play. Like a shooting game, for example, a game that I have no interest in buying. I will watch someone else play that and enjoy it that way. And I think that's something that, again, I think took time for people to understand, especially the people in power who control things. But yeah, we're at a place now where like they understand that they want more people to watch content, to the fact that they are allowing people to live stream, the award ceremonies and the state of plays and stuff like that. It's a really cool way to see how gaming has transformed over the last couple of decades. And to your first point,
Mhm.
I hate when my character has to go through a crack in the wall because it's so like
It's so jarring.
it's the equivalent of when you're a kid telling a story at school and you end it with "and then I woke up." It's lazy.
It is. We don't know how to go from this area to the next, so have them go through a crack. I would rather the game goes into a loading screen or something, or a cutscene, and then you come out the other side. I don't need to go through a small crack so the game can churn away in the background. I know we're all about immersion, we don't want to take away from that, but it's so overplayed. Let's move on now. Thank you very much.
I think that's it. I think if not every big blockbuster game did it, I wouldn't hate it. But Ragnarok has it. Ghost of
Horizon
Yote
has it.
Horizon has it. When I saw it in Yote, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Done. It's a great game. Some of my favorite games contain samurai, but I think the more ingenious way to do things. And I say this as an ignoramus who doesn't know how to build a game himself, but I do think that just copying what the last big game did is lazy.
Yes.
Regardless.
And I think that's a separate point. So although we think the PS5, it's popular, it's working, there is an element of, and I think we kind of said this in the last pod, where some game designers are getting lazy, and the games that are being made, apart from the indie studios, but even then to an extent, some of the indie studios are just copying the other indie studios. Games that we're getting are very similar to another game. And I mean, prime examples is your Assassin's Creeds, for example, where there is a new one. Don't hate me for anything I'm about to say. There is a new one released every year and a half. And there's world building, and credit to anyone that's involved in the game. I know it's hard work, but the games tend to be copycats of themselves, just in a new setting with a new character. There is very, very little often, I know that's not English, but I mean it, anything of like a new, what's the word? New dynamic technique?
Dynamic experience?
Oh my God, you said the word earlier. I'm so sorry. Anyway, new element to it that isn't part of a previous game, or they add a new element, but it's kind of a copy of something that was done in another game. And it's not just that is the new element. That new element is then overplayed within the same game so continuously that even within the same game, you feel like you're repeating yourself. And this isn't just for Assassin's Creed. This applies to some other games that I'm sure everyone knows.
FIFA.
But where you play for a couple hours and you're like, oh, this is quite fun. And then the more you play, you're like, oh, I'm doing the same thing that I was doing for the last 5 hours. And that used to be all well and good in a game that was 20 hours because you wouldn't notice. But if a game is 80 plus hours and you're playing the same sort of game every hour, it loses its appeal. It does.
It can drag, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, which is why a lot of games need to, or at least focus on the story and the emotional element and the character development. Because if your game is not going to be the most groundbreaking controls or system of playing, I really can't remember that word, it's really going to annoy me, then you need to at least have people invested
Mechanic?
with... Thank you, that's it. Yes, mechanic. Yeah, if you're using the same mechanic throughout the game, fine, but you need to make it different in some way, whether that be with a different character or a different plot point, or it's important to the story or something like that.
I agree, and I will mention this for the last time, maybe. So, like in Bloodborne and Lies of P, they did that. Whereas, for example, in Bloodborne, they do copy the whole like Souls-like game ecosystem. Like it's all the same thing. But Bloodborne was unique in that there are no shields, there are no blocking, but you have a parry system, and there's a whole like Bloodborne, there's a whole blood system where blood links into health. So you're kind of vampires. And if you block, like in a fighting game, not block, but if you take damage, you can recover your health if you land hits it within a certain window of time. So there's a whole like balancing act with that game that made it stand out from like your Dark Souls trilogy, for example. So that's a successful example of a game following a formula but doing something different to make it stand out and give you a different experience.
Yeah. And I mean, another one of my favorite newer PlayStation franchises is Horizon. And Horizon does sometimes have the fail of it's the same mechanic over and over again, but it does often save itself with a development in the plot, or you move into a new area of the world, or you unlock a new weapon system. So I think in the second one, you can upgrade your weapons / get new weapons and add new elements. So rather than just fighting the same fight with a crossbow and then maybe a slightly better crossbow, you have to work to improve your weapon in the right way so that by the time you get to a fight later on, you're actually ready to complete it. And although you're still doing the same sort of fight, it's not the same fight. It's not the exact same mechanic. So I think that's kind of similar as well.
Yeah, that's very cool. So with over 5 years and over 84 million units sold worldwide.
Wow. Officially
outselling every Xbox.
Really? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's something insane stat.
It is the most profitable PlayStation console of all time because they sold them at £500 a pop.
Yep.
My question to you, Gabby, is do you think the PS5 is at this moment in time a successful generation?
That's hard. I would say yes. And I don't know if it's just because we're still in the PS5 era. So a lot of my gaming memories still sit within the last 5 years because it's just what I'm playing now and it's just what's stuck in. But if I think about my PlayStation history, and I've been fortunate enough to have every single one of the consoles and played on every single one of the consoles, and my two most prolific memories, I guess, although there are some great PS4 games, don't get me wrong, I think are the PS2 and the PS5. Because although the PS5 was it was obviously a jump in terms of the technology that they were offering, but it wasn't a jump like the PS1 to the PS2, for example. That was a massive jump. This was like a smaller jump, but it was still a jump in terms of graphical ability, processing power, all of that fun stuff. And it does show the way that I have like involved myself with PS5 games and the PS5. I think they kind of like take over. So like going back to The Last of Us 2, for anyone that's played it, they know it is a very, very intense game. Not just the game itself, but the story, the emotion, the character development. You literally get sucked into it. It's like a film. You feel like you're there with the characters. And there's a lot of those sort of games. I know a lot of people will say, like you said with God of War, like you fall into these games and you get sucked in and you will play 100 hours, even though you're meant to because they're that long. But to me, that is a level of success because gaming is not just to game. You also want to have people like go into a new world. That was kind of the whole point of games. It's a new world. It's something to do aside from your normal life, new characters, alternative reality, all of that sort of stuff. So my perspective is that it's a success because of, for me at least, the way that I've been able to involve myself with the console.
You're like a poet. That was very eloquent. And I mean, like we said earlier, there are a ton of great PS5 games of all sizes and all lengths of campaign, and we are actively in the middle of our 4th annual community-led Game of the Year tournament, and this is what the bracket currently looks like. So we've got Absalom and Ghost of Yote in the semi-finals. South of Midnight, the one game that is not on the PS5, is there as well. But right now on our Instagram story and on our Twitter, by the time this episode is over, there will be a vote between Expedition 33 and Silk Song. So make sure to vote for your favorite game. And I would like to know whether you think a PS5 game or a game that you can play on the PS5 will end up winning Game of the Year. It's kind of a loaded question, but yeah. From that, I have a game for you, Gabby. Would you like to play?
Oh yes, let's go.
Here's one I made myself. It's the it's the PS5 shopping bag budget challenge. For audio only listeners, you have £20 in your pocket, and you know we live in a funky world where you can get games like Clear Obscure Expedition 33, God of War Ragnarok, Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, and Marvel Spider-Man 2 for £5 each. On the £4 tier, you got Demon Souls, Shifu, Resident Evil 4, Astrobot, and Ghost of Yote. For £3, you can get Split Fiction, Tekken 8, Returnal, and Hades each. For £2 each, you can get Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, Street Fighter 6. Oh my god, I need glasses. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and Persona Royal 5. I can read, I promise. And for £1 each, you could get Hollow Knight Silk Song, Helldivers 2, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Astro's Playroom. Jesus Christ. I need to go Specsavers. So, Gabby, with £20,
yes,
what is your PS5 collection looking like?
So this is going to be difficult for me because I did tell Andy this beforehand, but I've not actually played that many of the games on this list just for lack of time. So oh goodness. First of all, I think I'd have to take Astrobot for £4.
There we go. I can swap us.
There we go. You can see me now. Hi.
Yeah.
I'd have to take Astrobot for £4 because although I mentioned Astro's Playroom, I have also played Astrobot, and I know people contested it, but I also did think that Astrobot deserved Game of the Year. It was last year, wasn't it? Last year.
Yeah.
I think it's such a great game. Very fun. I think because it wasn't one of your super in-depth character development, emotional storylines like everyone's expecting, there was obviously some contention with the fact that it won Game of the Year, but I will happily play it again and again. So I'll take that for £4. I'm then going to, oh goodness, I think I've got to take Spider-Man Miles Morales for £1.
Okay.
I would say Spider-Man 2, but controversial for the pod, I've still not played it. I would love to, but haven't had the time yet, so we can't take number 2 because I haven't played it yet.
Waiting for
but if I had, I'm sure it would be on the list.
Fair.
Yeah.
You got 15 left. Doing good.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take Returnal for £3. Nice. Great game. I didn't actually finish it because it's really fucking difficult, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and the sequel / prequel / spin-off / whatever they want to call it that was teased in the last State of Play looks very interesting.
Looks so good.
Yep. So we're going to stay in that world, and we're going to stay with Returnal. So that's how much have I spent now? That was minus another 3.
I believe.
So I've got 12.
I've just realized I haven't got Horizon on here. Whoops.
I know you've taken up the games I have played actually aren't on here. This is my shopping list of what I want to play. I think I have to take God of War Ragnarok. I have actually played that.
Nice.
Beast of the game, obviously, like we've said, amazing, great game. That leaves me with £3.
£7.
I've got £7. No, I've got 3, haven't I?
So you got Astrobot for 4,
Yeah, God of War.
Miles Morales for 1, so that's 5. Returnal for 3, so that's 8, right? And
Yeah.
then Ragnarok, that's 13, right?
Oh,
Wait,
yeah, you're
no.
right. Are
Yeah,
you?
yeah, 7.
Okay, my maths is
My
terrible.
maths degree
Yeah, I don't
is
work in a
coming in clutch.
numbers based job, as you can tell. Now we're in the difficult stage because I've not played so many of this.
You
So
gotta take a leap of faith.
I'm going to go split faction because I have played the other 2 games from. I can't remember the name of the studio. That's really bad. But
Haze Light Studios.
thank you. I have played It Takes Two and A Way Out, and they are fantastic games that I played with my partner. Very fun. And Split Faction is on the list, so I will take that, especially with the reviews that everyone's saying it is very, very fun. That leaves me with £4.
£4.
Oh, God. Let's put... Oh, wait, no, I can't. I haven't got enough money.
Oh, no.
Let's put Spider-Man 2 in there, but I haven't got enough money, so get rid of that. For the
You can swap
lols,
Miles Morales for Spider-Man 2.
No, because I played Miles Morales, so we'll keep it to the list of games that I have played / know a little bit about. For the lols, we'll add Astro Playroom for £1 because I did say it was my first ever PS5 memory, so we have to. And then I have £3 left, so see, I might have to add Persona 5 in there. So I've not played the Royal version, but I've played the normal Persona 5. So add that on there as well. And then £1, let's add Silk Song because I know everyone that has played it is a fan. So I'll say I'll add it to my list. There we go. Actually, I feel like I've got quite a few games in for £20.
Yeah, that was a sick
Can I actually
list.
buy these for £20? Because that'd be really helpful.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Black Friday sale has passed as well now. I've got no chance.
I'm sorry. This is a sick Black Friday sale. Oh my god. Sony hired me. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's my collection.
That is a solid list. I think that would be better than what I could come up with, to be honest.
Nice.
Ragnarok for £5, obviously.
Yep.
Wait, is Liza P not on here? Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You didn't put any games that either of us had talked about.
Oh, scrap it. Nope, sorry. Challenge is over.
Okay, I win. Thank you.
All right, so Shifu's going on there. That's £9.
Yep.
Yote would be on there. That's another £4. That's £13.
Yep.
You
got 7 left. That's it now.
Wait, hold up. Oh shit.
Yeah, if you do that, you got a £5 left. That's it.
Rift Apart. Oh my god. Yep, £5 left. All right. Didn't really consider how hard this would actually be. 5. God, I've lost count already. 5 for.
You've got £5 left.
I've got £5 left. Okay. Damn.
You either go big or you combine.
I've got yeah. Oh no. £5. Oh, this is hard.
It's because you went big. I went one big, lots of little. It's like countdown.
Yeah, you did. I was gonna say you did the countdown strat. I was like, nope, load it up. Big titles.
Yeah.
Let's put Tekken in there. You get something for the friends to play.
You got £3 left. No, 3. You had 5 minus 2. Oh no, Tekken's in 3. Sorry, I can't see.
You know what? Thanks to that, I'm gonna swap Tekken for Street Fighter because it's still a fighting game, and then I'm gonna get Split Fiction. Boom.
Nice, solid choice.
Not as good as your collection.
You've gone co-op with your pickings.
Yeah, I was thinking about the people.
Yeah.
As
Can you tell you're a streamer?
Look, some people, not named me, obviously. Some people call me man of the people. So obviously I have to live up to that moniker.
Yeah, I picked mainly single player games. That says a lot about me.
Ragnarok, Shifu, and Yote are single player games as well. So I went for a balance.
That's true.
It's all good. And it's almost like you're a professional out here because you mentioned the community. Boom, boom. We have our community-led games nights going once a month, and the next one is the 15th of January. These are usually on the first Thursday of the month, but we're not doing it on New Year's. Come on now. So we're giving you an extra 2 weeks to get your stuff ready. We're going to be coming through some new games for you to try as well. So we're very excited to have you come through. We gave away some really cool prizes at the Christmas games night last week, and we can't wait to be able to give away more cool prizes to our community. So make sure to come through, bring a friend, each one, reach one, because we've had so much fun having you all come through, and we hope to continue that into the new year.
Nice.
Right, cool. Thank you. Yeah. And one of these days we'll get Gabby coming through to one.
I will. I'm trying my best.
We're gonna have to chain her up and bring her to one.
Drag me along, I'll be there.
Yeah. I said it's 5 o'clock. Okay. I think I can run through this last segment in time. If I can find it. How about a tribute to Streamcast in the pandemic? How about we do a PS5 themed quiz to celebrate 5 years?
Love it. I'm ready.
How are you feeling about that, Gabby?
Not like I'm going to do very well. Like I've said, I haven't actually played that many PS5 games. I have witnessed them, either brothers playing, streaming, whatever. I've played a couple and I know of others, but I feel like my modern knowledge of gaming is not great. So wish me luck.
Well, good luck. I'm going to put a link into the chat if people want to play this for themselves. This quiz is courtesy of Push Square. That is the website I go to check up on my latest PlayStation news. And you'd be happy to know it's multiple choice.
Okay.
So, you got this, Gabby. I believe in you.
Okay, I'll try my best.
Question 1. The PS5 first released on the 12th of November 2020, but in which of these regions did it launch 1 week later? A, Japan, B, North America, C, Europe, and D, Australia.
Okay, well, it's not going to be Japan. It's not going to be North America. I feel like North America and Europe came at the same time. So I'm going to say Australia, D.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You know what I can do? I can actually share my screen. Do you want me to do that? And
I don't mind.
I'll bank your answers and we'll find out.
Okay.
Let's...
No, I feel like I've got it wrong because you said that.
I gotta be careful of what I'm sharing now. GDPR and that.
Yeah. No names,
I
please.
should probably close those tabs. Hold on. Boom. All right, cool. Okay. Australia, yeah? Wait, are you seeing it?
I can see it, yeah.
See it. All right, cool. Oh, incorrect. The correct answer was Europe.
Really? Damn, they made us wait that long.
Yeah, we waited a week later. I remember because I was so pissed. As a content creator, having to wait the whole 7 days to enjoy what these Yanks and the Japanese got to enjoy, and the Australians on day one.
I understand Japan. You know, Sony. It is a Japanese company. North America, fine. There's a lot of them. Australia. What's going on down there? They're down under. Their timeline's different anyway. Why give it to us?
I think they're the same timeline as Japan, aren't they?
Oh, maybe.
Because it's
possibly. I think one side of Australia might be.
Right? They're the APAC region, right? So like, it makes sense.
I forgive you, Australians.
Logistically.
I'll let you have it.
I don't. But question 2. Which of these first-party PlayStation studios has released the most games on PS5? A, Sucker Punch Productions. B, Blue Point Games. C, Insomniac Games. D, Naughty Dog.
Okay, well, I don't think it's Naughty Dog because Naughty Dog is big productions. Same for Insomniac. Oh, I'm not good at this. I am going to go for Sucker Punch Productions.
Final answer?
Yeah, every time.
All right, let's lock it in.
Damn it.
Incorrect. It's Insomniac Games. Oh, if you think about it, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Spider-Man 2. And they got Wolverine coming out next year.
Wait,
so
did I read the question wrong? What was the question?
the most games on the PS5.
Oh yeah, the most games. Wait, really?
Yeah. Sucker Punch
Okay.
has done
I mean, there's.
Yote and Tsushima.
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong studio. That's why. That's awkward. Yeah.
Well,
No one judge me for my lack of PS5 knowledge, please.
all right, I just sprang this on you. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Question 3. Who was CEO and president of Sony Interactive Entertainment when the PS5 launched in 2020?
God,
This,
no.
I don't expect anyone. This isn't about games. This is Wikipedia.
Why would I know this? I know Reggie at
Herman
Nintendo.
Hulse.
That's the only man in charge I know.
A. Herman Hulse, B. Jim Ryan, C. Hiroki Totoki, or D. Shuhei Yoshida. Shuhei.
I mean, you raised your voice slightly at Jim Ryan, so I'm like, is that the answer?
Oh, did I do that?
No,
That's
surely it's someone Japanese, right? Because it's a Japanese company. I'm gonna go for Yoshida. I'm sorry, Yoshida, whoever you are, if this is incorrect. But
you're
I'm
not
going to
gonna-
go with the fact that the CEO of Sony, because it's Japanese, should be a Japanese person.
That is good logic, to be fair.
Right?
Yeah. You locking that in?
Okay. Yeah, let's look it in.
All right, let's do it. No, it was Jim
I
Ryan.
should have gone with my first answer.
Your logic was so right.
You gave me a clue and I just didn't even take it.
I didn't realize I did that. I subconsciously gave you the answer.
Yeah.
I was trying not to freak out about it.
Oh well. Right, so we're at 0 currently, right?
We're
0 out of 4.
I remember
I've got
Jim
a
Ryan for
clawback.
not being it. Yeah, it's all right. There's still 12 more to go. You got this.
Okay.
I remember Jim Ryan for not being able to hold a controller properly.
Hey, my excuse is that I'm really bad at names, so.
Oh, fair. Yeah, it's and your logic was fine in terms of like thinking. Obviously, Japanese company, we have a Japanese CEO. Let's see if you can get this one. The PS4's DualShock 4 controller introduced the share button. What was this button renamed to on the PS5's DualSense controller? Now, I remember this by chance because I wrote a blog about this. A, create button. B, capture button. C, select button. D, media button.
Okay, well, it's not select because that's old school. I think it's capture. I feel like, because I don't ever use that button, but I feel like I've pressed it accidentally and it's come up with capture. So I'm going to lock in capture button.
Yeah, locking that in?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Oh
No,
my
it's
God, I'm
create.
so bad at this.
It's create. This one's, yeah, I had to really think about this. And yeah, if it wasn't for the blog, I would have got that one right. That's crazy.
Okay. I like how you're trying to make me
Don't
feel
worry.
better, but so far we're still 0 for 0.
Question 5. The PS5 Pro launched 4 years after the standard PS5 in November 2024. What is the name of the upgraded console's AI-based upscaling tech? Jesus Christ, I don't know. A, PSRM. B, PSPP. C, PSAR. D, PSSR.
So, you know what's funny? I kind of feel like I remember watching a state of play where they kept mentioning this acronym over and over again, because obviously they were showing off. The issue being, I don't remember what the acronym was. I just remember them saying 4 letters continuously. So we're going to have to just chance it. I don't think it's PSPP, because that sounds too close to PSP. And I don't think they would do that. It's either PSAR or PS. Wow, it's really hard to say. PSRM.
Okay.
Oh, but then is it PSSR because the last word's resolution? Okay, no. I think it's going to end in R. So PlayStation. Let's go with PSAR. PSAR.
The third one.
Don't know what it stands for. The third one. Answers C or 3. And
Locking it in?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my
God.
God. Damn it, it was my second choice.
You were so close.
The logic was getting there.
Your logic was right.
I got the last word of resolution correct.
Yeah.
but I couldn't think of what S could be other than standard, so I just didn't think it was that. Shame.
PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution.
Yeah, super resolution. That's some great words from Sony there.
Yeah. Well, when you have guys who can't hold a controller or clearly don't know how to play,
that is true. Let's call it
the company.
super.
This one I didn't get right. Question 6.
Okay.
Which of these highly rated PS4 action games has not been re-released on PS5? A. Ghost of Tsushima. B. Devil May Cry 5. C. The Witcher 3. Or D. God of War 2018.
When it says re-released on PS5, that doesn't mean like accessible on the store
Correct.
as a game. It means like a PS5 version.
Yes.
Well, I don't think it's Devil May Cry. I think that was re-released. The Witcher was. I've seen the case of it. The Witcher 3, I've definitely seen a PS5 case with The Witcher 3 on. My brain is telling me that it's God of War, but that doesn't feel right. Is it Ghost of Tsushima? Oh, I don't like this quiz. Let's go. I feel like God of War feels too correct to be incorrect, or too incorrect to be correct. So let's go Ghosts of Tsushima. Wait, no, let's go God of no, just me out. Let's go God of War. I know it's incorrect, but I can't logic the other ones. Yeah.
You looking it in?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Hey, correct. Perhaps surprisingly, God of War's incredibly highly rated 2018 reboot did not get its own native PS5 version, despite its sequel, Ragnarok, being a cross-gen release. You were absolutely correct in your logic.
Okay, the logic was getting there.
Yeah, that's why you couldn't make sense of it, because you were right.
Okay.
I was like, no, 2018 is definitely on PS5. I've played it on the PS5, and I went Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is right. Well done.
Okay.
The comeback is on. Question 7. Every PS5 comes with Astra's Playroom, which acts as a showcase for the console's features. But which PlayStation studio developed it? A. Team Asobi. B. Sony XDev. C. Blue Point Games. Or D. Santa Monica Studio.
So I'm going to be really confident, which is going to be really awkward if I get it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's A. Team Asobi.
Sure?
Yes.
Looking it in?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
Of course. The comeback.
We're coming back. We're on a roll now.
Question 8. Let's go. Astro's Playroom was followed by a full Astrobot game in 2024. How many levels did the platformer have at launch? A. 101. B. 20. C. 76. D. 55.
This is a mad question to ask. So it's not 20, because there's 6 worlds, and within the 6 worlds, there's at least 5 levels. So that makes 30.
Quick maths.
This is on at launch, because obviously they added some. I'm going to go for 55, the next number above 30.
Okay. Looking in?
Yeah.
All right. Oh.
Bloody hell.
Lucky. 76. Crazy.
That's a lot. Okay.
Well,
Well, I didn't get past 40, I think. I still have yet to complete it, so I'll check back in. Give me a couple of weeks, and I'll come back and say, yeah, it was 76.
Let me know which one of the 76 was your favorite.
I will do.
Question 9. At the time of writing, which game has the highest overall critic score of any PS5 title on Metacritic? A. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. B. God of War Ragnarok. C. Baldur's Gate 3. Or D. Elden Ring.
This is really difficult. My immediate thought was it's Elden Ring, because I know that came out to high praises.
Mm-hmm.
The highest of any PS5 title. You know what? Let's go with first instinct, and let's just lock in Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, I think if I think about it too much, I'll realize how wrong I am. But we'll lock in the first one.
Let's lock it in. Hey, well done. And you got most of the people got it wrong. That's crazy.
I just remember Elden Ring specifically having such a high score when it came out, and then it just not changing. So
yes, 96 is crazy.
wow. Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 actually has the same score, but fewer PS5 reviews, and Ragnarok has 94. That's crazy.
Close.
Very close. 10. Which of these PlayStation Studio PS5 games has won Game of the Year at the Game Awards? A. God of War Ragnarok. B. Horizon Forbidden West. C. Returnal. D. Astrobot.
So I think we know that I know this one because I talked about it earlier. It is D. Astrobot.
Okay.
Lock it in.
Locking it in?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Well done.
Big fan.
Yes, Ragnarok lost out, and Forbidden West lost out to Elden Ring in 2022, of course. 11.
Strong competitors in that year.
One of the best years of gaming, I would
Yeah.
say. In what year did Sony establish the first-party PlayStation Studios brand? I got this wrong so bad. I feel really bad about this one. A. 2024. B. 2020. C. 2022. Or D. 2018.
I doubt it's going to be 2020 because that was midst pandemic, and I feel like they would have held off. 2018 feels too early. I'm trying to think of the intro. I'm going to go 2022. That's only 3 years ago, which feels weird. But I'm trying to think of when I play a game and you see that intro come on.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being much earlier than that. So let's lock in 2022.
All right, 2022. We're locking it in.
Oh,
okay. It was 2020.
Oh, it was.
It is very counterintuitive.
Yeah, in the midst of the pandemic.
Yeah. I guess that's when they started doing the like the Galactus acquiring other studios.
Yeah, I guess. Ready for the PS5 launch.
No, this is what I didn't get right. 12. Live service shooter Concord has been the single biggest financial loss of the PS5 generation for Sony. How long did the game last before it was taken offline? A. 2 weeks. B. 6 months. C. 1 month. Or D. 5 days.
I remember watching the trailer for this on a State of Play. It is not my sort of game, but being like, oh, that looks quite fun. And then later on, speaking to someone and being like, oh, do you remember that game that they teased? And that person being like, yeah, they got rid of it. And I was like, oh, cool. Okay, great. So I don't think it was 6 months because that feels like it was too long. And I think 5 days is way too small. 2 weeks also too small. I think I'm going to lock in 1 month. That feels very small, but I don't think it was 6 months. I think that was too long.
We'll lock it in 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks. 15 days.
Oh, that's not good, is it?
No, it definitely wasn't 6 months because 6 months is kind of respectable in this climate.
Yeah.
My former co-host Hassan and I remember us watching that State of Play, and we were both like, this game is gonna tank. This game is really bad. It's soulless, it's lifeless, it's a Temu Guardians of the Galaxy, which is actually a really good PS5 game. You should play it. This game just has no soul to it. It's dead on arrival. And yeah.
And it literally was within 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. At least it lasted longer than 5 days, which is longer than my replacement. Longer than my replacement lasted.
Oh. Let's hope he's not listening to this. Oh dear.
Question 13. Sony has published numerous third-party games as PS5 exclusives this generation. Which of these PS5 titles did Sony not publish A. Lost Soul Aside. B. Stellar Blade. C. Black Myth Wukong. Or D. Death Stranding 2.
This feels like a confusing question.
It is a tricky one.
Because they can still be PS5 games, it's just that Sony didn't publish them, right?
Yes. And publisher is a very different role to developer.
Yeah, this is what's going to throw me off and is probably going to lead to me getting this wrong. So I don't think it's Death Stranding 2 for obvious reasons. I also don't think it's Stellar Blade. I definitely think that was a Sony published game. Obviously, if I'm wrong, I don't know what I'll do. I won't do anything. I think it's Lost Soul Aside, just because I see much less of that game, and I feel like any Sony-backed games they're in your face.
So we're going with Lost Soul Aside?
Yeah.
We are locking that in. All right. Incorrect.
Oh,
it was Black Myth Wukong. Lost Soul Aside, I do know that's a PlayStation published game because they gave us a copy of it. Thanks, PlayStation. Moving on because
see, I don't have that prior knowledge.
I have nothing nice to say about that game. 14. Yeah. In 2022, Sony struck a deal to acquire ex-Halo and Destiny developer Bungie. How much did the acquisition cost Sony?
Oh my.
A. $3.6 billion. B. $8.4 billion. C. $5.5 billion. Or D. $1.6 billion.
I mean, these are mad numbers, and I would happily take 10% of any of these numbers. Yeah. I mean, Halo and Destiny are massive, so it's going to be huge, but I don't want to go for the biggest answer. So we're either going to go 3.6 or 5.5. Let's go 5.5 because it is the PS5 of 5 years, and we like the number 5.
Oh, I like that logic. 555.
Yeah.
You lock it in.
Yep.
Oh, 3.6 billion. To be fair, it's like unless you're like actively in the weeds about stuff like this, you're not going to know this off the top of your head, right?
No.
And let's see. The last one is a simpler multiple choice. True or false? The launch PS5 with disk drive is heavier than the launch PS3.
You know what's funny? I just looked at my PS5 because I also have a PS3,
Nice.
and I'm like, mentally, how heavy does it feel?
I
remember people saying that it was heavy because that was an issue with the PS5. It was massive and it was heavy, but then the PS3 was like a weight. You could knock someone out with that shit. It's huge.
Yes.
Is it heavier with the disk drive? I am going to go true just because of the thought of the PS5 having more processors and tech-related words within it.
Yes. Shall we lock that in? True?
Yeah, I'm scared.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Oh, wow. The PS3 is a full 5 kilos. Hey, that's...
Hey, but the PS5 is only 4.5, so I wasn't massively off. It's still
it was
very, very heavy.
It was close. Let's see how you did. 4. That's not bad. That's not bad.
You say that. That's quite bad. Hey, if this was a quiz about PS2, I'd be rolling in it. PS5, okay. I'll take my 4 with grace.
Nice. I will come up with a PS2 quiz and then get you back on.
Happily.
And then we'll see.
I'm going to bite my tongue now.
You said it.
I have. It is now live on air. Everyone has heard it.
Hey, I was so locked in. I couldn't see Mr. Red's music in the chat. How are you doing, bro? I hope you're good. Not gonna lie, I thought stream was on Twitch. I am not on Twitch anymore. I hate that place. How are you doing like that? No, actually, first of all, I should say massive shout out to Gabby because that was a bit nerve-wracking, and it can be a bit scary to do a quiz live on the stream. And people pull out, and they have freaked out and not done it for us in the past. So big up Gabby for coming on and
For anything.
smashing through the collection challenge. By the way, we have gone over massively. Sorry, but which PS5 game have you got the most hours in? Really quickly.
Oh my god, brain. Yakuza 0 is my most played on PS5.
Nice.
It's technically a PS4 game, but PS5.
How many hours have you got?
Wait, I have it open. Hang on. It's literally. Oh wait, no, I've lost it. Shit. Oh wait. Hold fire, gamers. I'm gonna find. Oh no, it's because it's logged it as PS4. That's why. But
that's why.
It 113 on Yakuza 0,
Wow.
which is actually less than I thought it was going to be. And I will say I'm currently playing Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and I'm only about 60% of the way through, and I'm at 96 hours. So I will have a new record soon.
Well, we'll have to get you back on when you do break that record and when you finish that game.
Yep.
Gotta hear you talk about it.
Talk about my Japanese games that I like.
Mine is Ragnarok with 157 hours.
Solid effort.
It's good. I got the plat. I tried to do the DLC and my console crashed, so I've given up.
Oh,
I've rage quit.
Lovely.
I'll move on to something else. But thank you so much, Gabby. I appreciate you doing the overtime. Where can the people follow you?
So I said previously, I don't have any platforms that I use for gaming. I am a single player gamer that likes to play by myself and then come on pods occasionally. So I don't have any platforms really that you can follow me on. I do have a personal Instagram if anyone wants to see what I get up to in my normal life. And this is really awkward because I've actually forgotten what it is. I'm so sorry, pod. Hold fire.
That's all good. I will fill for time.
It is gabbymarie.c, GABBYMARIE _C. That is my personal Instagram. You can follow me or not. I'm not really bothered. There's nothing gaming related really on there. If you want to find me, actually, you know what? If you want to find me on the PlayStation, what's it called? My tag. What's it called?
PSN.
I don't do this very often. Thank you. Is GABBY _cook, COOK. That is my gamer tag. You're welcome to friend me if you want. I probably won't play with you, to be honest, but you're welcome to friend me if you want.
I can't wait to click that.
That's a great way to end it, isn't it?
Don't friend me. Don't follow me.
If someone could make a good case for me to play online multiplayer with them, I will. So far, no one has, which is why I play alone. So there you go. It's a challenge.
There you go. That has appealed to the gamers out there. They're gonna pitch to you their challenges to get you to play with them. But also, it might just be good to have PS5 friends like Facebook. But cool. So yeah, why not?
That's true. Is PS5 the new Facebook?
For me, it is. I'm actually similar to you. I don't really play multiplayer games anymore. I'm too old, tired, grumpy, and I don't really care. So I like single player games. I like my Ragnaroks. I like my Yotes. I was playing It Takes Two. Obviously, not doing that anymore. So I'm gonna try and play Split Fiction.
I was gonna say that one you can't quite play alone. So maybe you have a friend.
Yeah. Don't have anyone to play with, so we'll figure that out.
Well, there you go. If you can make a case, I am around.
I am here. Oh, we could do Split Fiction.
Yeah, there we go. You make a case. I'm still saying you got to make a case for it, though. I'll leave you with that.
And you can follow us across the board. First of all, if you're watching us live on YouTube, which is the home of our podcast, please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up because that helps us out greatly. I don't know what the stats are because I haven't done November's yet, but last time I checked, it was about 50% of viewers are not subscribed. And like, first of all, hi, new viewers. I appreciate it. We're reaching a new audience, but you want to stay here. You want to join the best community on the planet, and we're not right now. But I believe in you. Believe in the me that believes in you. Subscribe, and each one reach ones. That way, we can get to 1,000 subscribers and do more cool stuff. We're also on TikTok and Instagram, Streamcast_, and that is the main bulk of where you should be keeping up to date with us, with like our streams, our podcasts, our game nights, our other events. We've got a jam-packed 2026. We can't wait to share all of our gaming and beyond stuff with you. So make sure you subscribe, follow, as with the case. And if you are watching this after the fact, you can watch this on Spotify or listen to us on Apple or another platform. So we're basically everywhere. Just search Streamcast. I don't know when the next podcast will be, but this is the last one of 2025. So
Merry Christmas.
Exactly. I wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, all them man there, and Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2026. Until then, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Stay safe. We'll see you on the next Streamcast. Wait, I don't know how to end the stream now. Messed up. Wait. There we go. Bye.